The wheels of the cost-cutting bus go round and round, with the public purse having once more been opened up to top up substandard private sector wages. Dita, this time it's for bus drivers. I'm not going to ask you to sing the song, but what was the announcement this week? You can sing the song if you want.
The announcement this week was that $61 million would be coming from the government. So it's a tripartite agreement, but the government is going to put in $61 million to ensure that bus drivers are eventually paid $30 an hour. Mm-hmm. At the same time, something like 1,000 bus services have been cut from the schedule. The two things are connected.
Yes. And there's there's a pretty extensive backstory here. What exactly, where should we start?
Yeah. I won't give you chapter and verse, but, it's a typical New Zealand story of a cost-cutting government comes in, tries to slash spending on public services, in this case buses. This was it was successive national governments, but in 2013, John Key's government decided that the way the bus services were set up was too expensive, which was true in a way because private operators were reaming the system. So he set up this system, not he, John Key himself, but his government set up a system whereby the services would be contracted out to the people who offer the cheapest thing, which is a typical procurement thing in New Zealand, I suppose. But the incentives were such that the private operators were, they were rewarded for paying very low. So the ones that paid the lowest, their cost, the biggest cost to a bus operator is the wages of the drivers.
So do we have a sense of what the wages are roughly sitting at now for a typical bus driver?
My understanding is that it's around the living wage, so $22. But, and people seem to think that's okay for a bus driver, but I don't know about you. You catch public transport a lot. I do as well.
Try to.
Yeah, it's difficult where you live, definitely. But and obviously with 1,000 services gone from across Auckland, it is going to be harder for many more people. Mm. But, the job is gruelling, can be dangerous, is unpleasant a lot of the time. And $22, even $30, is really not a lot of money.
So we saw this privatisation of the services, wages going down. There's been some fighting back, though, from unions and the like, or how have we sort of got to where we are now with this announcement coming out?
Well, I think what happened was each year as these tenders were put out, or I don't know what the period exactly was, it might have been longer than a year, but costs were being driven down and driven down and driven down. How these operators that won these contracts filled their rosters is by using migrant labour, who seem to be the people that would agree to these wages, probably because they have not as many options. These were in the days when lots of migrant labour was coming into New Zealand. Mm-hmm. COVID happened. Of course, we lost the migrant workforce, and they've found they haven't got drivers because New Zealanders don't want to work for that level of money. Also, they can go and drive a truck for more money and less aggravation. So, it's a labour shortage, it's COVID, it's a lack of migrants, it's just poor wages, it's bad publicity, years of industrial action to try and get their wages up. It's a recipe for chaos, really.
First Union have been pretty vocal in this as well. There was an appearance on, the AM show this week?
Yes. So I watched the appearance and I was absolutely flabbergasted to hear Ryan Bridge suggest that $30 an hour would be considered too much by New Zealanders to pay bus drivers because, hey, nurses don't get it. And if anything, that's an argument that nurses don't get enough, not that bus drivers should also be paid very poorly. I just think, this has been years and years in the making. It requires proper investment. I think the government has put this money in. Now councils will have to put theirs in. Operators are also chipping in. So everyone is trying to work it up. But I'm sure this could have been avoided with more clever planning.
So a Labour government is implementing this election next year. You talk about government spending and then government's cutting costs.
We've seen a lot of politicians, Christopher Luxon and Wayne Brown, talk about coming in. We're going to cost cut. We're going to you're not going to pay more in rates. You're going to pay less in taxes. I mean, who is going to fund the public services we need? And if they want to continue getting people on public transport, which I think the National Party are into, which I think the Auckland Council are into. The investment needs to happen at some point. And, if we continue cost cutting, we're just never going to have a system that works.
Dita, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.